Dogworks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com. You can support this podcast on patreon.com/firstpawmedia.
Hey guys, Michelle here. We are back from Podcast Movement in Dallas, and from this episode forward, you will hear some changes in the format. We hope you like it and look forward to your feedback. So, welcome to Dogworks Radio. I have an important question for you. Do you know what questions you should ask your veterinarian during a visit with your canine buddy? As you may know, your vet is one of your most trusted advisors in building a better relationship with your dog. They are part of your team. Think of them as the athletic trainer or the team doc that advises you on important information to prep your pup for game day. Even if your pup does not compete in canine sports, it is still advisable that you consult your veterinarian before embarking on a new exercise routine or even trying to figure out the root cause of a behavioral problem. But did you know? Many dog owners don't know what questions to ask during visits with their vet. Well, today we're gonna find that out. After the episode, ask yourself, what new ideas has this conversation sparked for you? Share this episode with a family member or friends and discuss it together. As always, ping me over on Instagram at First Paw Media. Just remember, dog training is a big commitment and accountability is a huge part. You can do it. I believe in you. But before we dive into this episode, can I ask you guys a favor? If you have been listening to Dogworks Radio for a while now, say 3 or more episodes, and you like what you hear, would you consider leaving us a 5-star review? Something simple, 2 or 3 sentences max, is perfect to tell the world about what you like about this podcast and what you have learned and why you are a rabid listener. This helps us tremendously. Just scroll down in your favorite podcast player and click the leave a review button and voila. Super simple, and thanks so much for tapping that subscribe button. This month, we've got listeners in 57 countries around the world. So, hello to our listeners in Milwaukee, Columbus, and our friends in the United Kingdom. We are so glad you are tuning in. Okay, it's time to dive into the 10 questions your vet wishes you would ask. Are you ready?
From First Paw Media, sponsored by Alaska Dog Works Professional Canine Training Center in Anchorage, Alaska. This is Dogworks Radio, committed to families and their dogs to build lifelong and fulfilling relationships. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert and Michele Forto.
On today's show, we are discussing 10 questions your vet wishes you would ask. Taking your pet to the veterinarian once or twice a year for a checkup is part of your job as a responsible pet owner. You know how to care for your pet on a day-to-day basis, but you don't have the years of education and veterinary experience needed to diagnose and treat health problems. When you go to the vet, you can rest easy knowing that he or she will give your pet the attention he needs, but once you leave the office, it's up to you to continue that care. To ensure that your pet remains happy and healthy for as long as possible, you need to be proactive about his care, and that means taking advantage of your veterinarian's knowledge and experience. During each visit to the vet, you should ask the following questions to make sure that you have a thorough understanding of your pet's needs. Number 1, is my pet a healthy weight? More than 50% of cats and dogs in the United States are overweight, and many pet parents fail to realize just how serious a health problem like obesity can be. A gain of even a few pounds can be significant and could put your pet at risk for chronic health problems such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and osteoarthritis. Number 2, is my pet getting enough exercise? What type of exercise is best? Exercise is important for helping your pet to maintain a healthy body weight, but some pets have a lower ability to tolerate exercise than others. Brachycephalic dog breeds, for example, like bulldogs and pugs, have low exercise tolerance and may overheat easily with vigorous exercise. Your vet can tell you what kind is best for your pet and how much is appropriate. Number 3, am I feeding my pet the right food? The quality of your pet's diet is directly related to his total health and wellness, so it is important that you feed him the best pet food you can consistently afford. It should be made with healthy, natural ingredients and free from artificial additives. Number 4, is my pet up to date on vaccinations? Discuss vaccination protocols with your vet, as some are following newer guidelines. So ask your vet which shots your pet is going to need next and when is he going to need them. Number 5, does my pet need flea tick protection and which product should I use? Dogs and cats should both be protected against fleas and ticks. Even if you think that your pet won't be exposed, parasites have the potential to carry deadly diseases, so it is worth protecting your pet with a monthly topical preventative. Number 6, are my pet's teeth healthy? Many pet parents overlook their pet's dental health, which unfortunately leads most pets to develop some degree of periodontal disease or gum disease by the time they are 3 years old. Your pet should have an oral checkup every 6 months, and you should brush his teeth as often as you can. Number 7, does my pet need a blood test or a urine test? Most veterinary checkups do not include blood and urine tests unless the pet is showing signs of some form of disease. It never hurts, however, to ask your vet whether one of these tests might be beneficial just to make sure your pet is healthy, especially for senior pets. Number 8, is this behavior normal? Insert any kind of behavior question into number 8. Cats and dogs exhibit some strange behaviors, and they aren't always easy for pet parents to understand. If your pet has recently started to exhibit an unfamiliar behavior, it's worth asking your vet to make sure it isn't a sign of a developing health problem. Number 9, how can I better care for my pet? The best question you can ask your veterinarian is how to be a better pet parent. There could be something simple that you aren't doing which might be very beneficial for your pet, but you'll never know unless you ask. Number 10, when should I bring my pet back for the next checkup? Regular veterinary care is the key to catching health problems in the early stages when they are still treatable. As your pet ages, he may require more frequent trips to the vet to ensure he is maintaining good health. The more questions you ask your veterinarian, the more knowledge you will gain, and that can only help you to become a better pet parent. You need to do more than just ask the questions. However, you also have to put that knowledge to use in caring for your pet. We're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we're going to give you some tips to keep your puppies biting in check.
Here's to the great American dog trainers out there. The hundreds of you who settled for the sometimes thankless job of working with four-legged companions because they pay the bills. Of course, there's something else you can do if you've got something to say. Start a podcast with First Paw Media and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to tell yourself, hey, I'm no puppy wrangler, I'm a rover, I'm a trailbreaker, I'm an adventurer. Visit firstpaw.media. Wag on over today.
An important facet of dog ownership is training. As soon as you bring your puppy home, you should begin training. On top of teaching your dog basic commands, it is also vital that they understand basic puppy manners, including how to behave in the home, what behaviors are appropriate, and what is not. One of the most common challenges new puppy owners say is, "My puppy won't stop biting me, and I've tried everything." Puppies bite for all sorts of reasons, and often this part of training is just as essential as teaching your puppy to sit and stay. Getting started can seem a bit overwhelming, but the good news is that in most cases, puppy biting is completely normal and something that is entirely trainable with the right techniques and attitude. In this episode, we'll help you get started on the right foot. If you still have more questions after listening to this podcast episode, sourcing classes such as Alaska Dog Works Peak Performance Program can help. Why does my puppy bite me, and how can I prevent it? Regardless of breed, all puppies explore the world with their mouths. On top of this, like babies, puppies go through a teething process that can last a few months. Many puppies are used to also playing rough with their litter mates, where biting is often a successful way for puppies to get attention or instigate play with their siblings. Combine this with their need to explore, and this often leads puppies to chewing things they shouldn't, like furniture, shoes, arms, and legs. It is important to understand that your puppy isn't intentionally being naughty. Puppies have an innate desire to bite and chew, and we cannot just eradicate it. However, we can approach this by offering the puppy plenty of appropriate chew items throughout the day to relieve their desire to chew. Most owners make the mistake of providing rope toys, squeaky toys, or stuffed animals. While these are fun toys, they do not actually encourage the puppy to chew on them, and oftentimes have bits that are easily torn off, making them a choking hazard. So what is a good chew toy for puppies? Good chew toys taste good. If you think about it, a rubber toy tastes like, well, rubber. No wonder your puppy would rather bite your leather shoe or arm. When picking chew toys for your dog, look for ones that have a lot of flavor. Our favorites are bully sticks, cow hooves, pig ears, or yak chews. Always ensure your puppy is supervised when they are working through a chew toy, as you never know if or when a small piece could break off and pose a choking hazard. That said, the more bitey your puppy is, the more frequently you should offer your puppy tasty chew toys as an alternative. Some breeds have a reputation for being extremely mouthy or predisposed to nipping and biting. For example, English bulldogs, golden retrievers, labradoodles, or bernedoodles. If you have a puppy like this, you should aim to provide them with at least 2 hours of supervised chewing time a day. What if my puppy still bites? Okay, try your best to be patient as you help your puppy work through the unavoidable biting phase. If redirecting their biting with a tasty chew toy doesn't work, there are other basic tactics you can try to encourage more appropriate behaviors. And these ideas include stuffing a rubber chew toy with your puppy's kibble soaked in water or using wet food to make them last longer. You can freeze them to make a popsicle. Puppies that are extremely mouthy can eat every single meal out of a frozen toy like this. While it takes a while to prepare, it will greatly reduce the puppy's tendency to bite because he can satisfy the desire to chew so well with this daily meal activity. When your puppy bites you during play, stop the interaction and ignore your puppy's behaviors. By removing yourself from the situation, you are teaching your puppy that biting does not result in attention or engagement, and instead, the fun is over. Don't make a big deal of it. Keep it as non-dramatic as possible. By doing this consistently, you should see an improvement in their biting behavior in a matter of days. Stop and redirect the inappropriate chewing behavior if you catch your puppy in the act. Whether it's a shoe, a piece of furniture, or even the drywall, quickly provide them with a tasty chew bone or toy to show them what an acceptable alternative is. Make sure your puppy is getting enough exercise. Often a puppy may be more nippy if he or she hasn't had enough physical or mental stimulation. Take your puppy out for some fresh air and a change of scenery. It can make a huge difference in your puppy's at-home behavior. Conversely, puppies need lots of sleep and downtime. If your puppy is overstimulated or overtired, you may find he or she expresses the need for rest by biting and nipping excessively. Don't be discouraged if your puppy continues to bite here and there despite your best efforts. It is perfectly normal, developmentally appropriate behavior for puppies until they are around 6 months of age. When can I start training my puppy? You should begin training your puppy the moment you bring them home. This includes teaching your puppy to stop biting, but also to familiarize them with other skills that will be crucial in the long term, like sit, stay, or come. Puppies begin learning from the moment they are born, especially when it comes to socialization and handling. Formal training of commands can start at around 8 weeks, which is around when your dog is ready to come home. Preferably, you want to get a lot of training done in the first few months that you have your dog. You want your dog to be well trained before they hit puberty, which often causes them to fly off the handle a little bit. Just like humans, dogs will go through a teen stage where they may act a bit more juvenile. Furthermore, what dogs learn in puppyhood is solidified once they become adults. Waiting will only make your dog harder to train later. For this reason, we highly recommend that you start puppy classes as soon as your dog has their first few shots. You can help your puppy through their puppy biting stage through a range of different techniques, such as providing plenty of appropriate and tasty chew toys for your puppy. With consistency, time, and patience, your puppy will quickly learn that biting people or furniture is unacceptable and that the urge to bite or chew should be satisfied with an appropriate chew toy instead. By providing a safe outlet for their instinct to bite or chew, both you and your puppy will be happier in the long run. For further guidance on how to train your puppy to stop biting, check out Alaska Dog Works Peak Performance Program. For more training tips and advice, simply visit alaskadogworks.com. Okay, guys, let's press pause for a sec. Maybe ask yourself, why did this resonate with me? What aspect of my relationship with my canine buddy could I apply this to? And what am I going to do differently this week to make my dog's training a little easier? Take time to mull it over, talk it out with a family member or trusted friend, put some ideas down in your training journal, and then check back next week for our next episode. And as always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this episode. So reach out and DM me over on Instagram at First Paw Media, and let's spark a conversation. Until then, keep going. You're doing great. It is time to create the relationship with your dog that you always dreamed of. Thanks for listening to DogWorks Radio. Find the show notes for this episode and all others at dogworksradio.com. Know someone in your life who needs help with their dog's training? Be a hero and share our podcast with them. And we will see you next time.
From First Paw Media, this is DogWorks Radio. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you'll see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert and Michele Forto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media.